Marriage is not only about choosing the right partner, it is also about preparing yourself to be one. Today, we bring you two guidance tales, the lamp she carried and the shield he carried. Together, they form a compass for every young woman and young man who dreams of building a life of dignity, respect, and love. This tale is for daughters who dream of one day becoming wives, mothers, and companions. This is not a story of perfection, but of preparation. It is called The Lamp She Carried. Her name was Sanvi. She often wondered what kind of husband she would meet, what home she would live in, what future she would step into. Like many young women, she dreamed of romance, companionship, and a family built with love. Yet one evening, her mother asked her a question that changed her thoughts forever. "My child," she said gently, "instead of asking what kind of husband you will find, ask what kind of wife you will be. For marriage is not only about receiving love, but about giving it, protecting it, and nurturing it." Sanvi was puzzled. "But what should I become?" she asked. Her mother smiled and said, "A woman who carries a lamp into her home, a lamp of patience, respect, and loyalty. A lamp that lights not just her path, but her family's." From that day, Sanvi began her introspection. She asked herself, "Do I have the patience to listen, even when I feel unheard? Do I respect others, not only in public, but in private? Do I know how to speak with kindness when anger tempts me? Do I carry the strength to stand beside a man not only in celebration, but in struggle?" Her grandmother added her wisdom. "A good wife is not one who loses herself, nor one who dominates. She is the one who stands equal. She honors her husband, but she also honors herself. She knows her worth, and she nurtures his dignity." Years passed, and Sanvi grew into a woman of grace. When proposals began arriving, she looked beyond wealth or charm. When she finally married, the lamp she carried lit her home. When he faltered, she encouraged. When he succeeded, she celebrated. And in turn, her husband honored her, cherished her, and treated her as his equal. Their marriage was not perfect, but it was strong. Because Sanvi had learned a truth few young women understand. A good spouse is not only found, she is built. Built through self-reflection, through discipline, through values. This story is for every young woman preparing for marriage. Ask yourself, am I patient? Am I kind in speech? Do I carry dignity in how I treat my parents, my siblings, my friends? For the way you honor others before marriage is the way you will honor your husband and your children after marriage. Remember, beauty and charm may open doors, but it is respect, loyalty, and grace that build a home. A woman who carries patience brings peace. A woman who carries loyalty brings security. A woman who carries respect brings honor. And a woman who carries dignity brings love that lasts for generations. Be the lamp in your marriage, not the shadow. Do not shrink your light. Use it to guide, to warm. That is how a woman prospers, not only as a wife, but as a partner, a friend, and a queen of her home. This was the lamp she carried, a Sakhi Soul Stories guidance tale for daughters preparing to become wives. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Together, let us raise a generation of women who carry not only beauty, but values. Not only dreams, but dignity. Not only wishes, but wisdom. If women are called to carry the lamp of dignity, patience, and grace, then men are called to carry the shield of loyalty, responsibility, and respect. For only when both shine together can a marriage prosper.
We bring a story not of kings or warriors, but of a young man preparing for the greatest role he will ever hold, that of a husband. This is the shield he carried. His name was Rohan. Like many young men, he often wondered what kind of wife he would meet. Would she be beautiful, intelligent, caring? Would she stand by him in his struggles, celebrate with him in his victories? But one evening, as he spoke of these dreams, his grandfather asked him, "And what will you be for her?" Rohan was surprised. "I will provide, of course," he said. His grandfather shook his head gently. "Provision is only one duty, child. A true husband is not only a provider, he is a protector, a guide, a friend, and a man of honor. If you want a wife of dignity, you must be a man of dignity. If you want loyalty, you must first give loyalty. If you want respect, you must first live respectfully." Those words struck his heart like an arrow. That night, Rohan looked at his life with new eyes. He asked himself, "Do I have the discipline to care for my family? Do I have the courage to admit my mistakes? Do I carry humility or only pride? Do I use my strength to protect or to control?" From then on, he began to prepare, not for marriage day, but for marriage life. He worked on his patience, learning to listen instead of reacting in anger. He practiced chivalry, opening doors, offering help, not as gestures of show, but as habits of respect. He honored women around him, not only the ones he admired, but every woman, because respect is not selective. He worked on discipline, saving money, keeping his word, building a character strong enough to stand tall in storms. He trained himself not just for success, but for service, reminding himself that true leadership in a family is not domination, but responsibility. Years later, when he married, his wife did not find perfection in him, but she found safety. When storms came, he became her shield. When doubt entered, his loyalty reassured her. When she felt weary, his respect lifted her. He never raised his voice to wound, never used his strength to belittle. Instead, he used his strength to carry, to protect, to honor. Their children grew up seeing how their father opened doors for their mother, how he never dismissed her words, how he treated her as an equal partner. And one day, when their son asked, "Why do you always serve her first at dinner?" Rohan smiled and said, "Because that is how a man should love, by honoring the woman who walks beside him." This story is for every young man preparing for marriage. Before you ask what kind of wife you will find, ask what kind of husband you will be. Will you be the man who stands beside her in strength? Will you be the shield that protects her dignity, the loyalty that calms her fears, the respect that nurtures her soul? Remember, being a husband is not about power. It is about protection, partnership, and patience. Any man can claim love with words, but a true man proves it in actions, day after day. A wife should never fear her husband's anger. She should find peace in his presence. The shield you carry is not made of iron. It is made of respect, responsibility, loyalty, and dignity. Carry it well, and you will build a marriage where your wife feels safe, your children feel proud, and your home shines with harmony. This was The Shield He Carried, a Sakhi Soul Stories guidance tale for young men preparing for marriage. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe. Together, let us raise a generation of men who understand that strength is not control, but protection, not pride, but humility, not dominance, but dignity. The lamp and the shield, two symbols, two responsibilities, two hearts. Together, they make a marriage strong, balanced, and full of grace. This is the guidance we pass on to the next generation, so that love is not about demands, but about dignity, not about power, but about partnership, not about fleeting charm, but about lasting values. May every son and daughter learn to carry their light and their shield into marriage.